The AFC North, the NFC North, we're going to take apart all of those teams and tell you whether to bet on them or against them. Plus, we got NBA, college basketball, NHL, early college football bets, early NFL bets for this upcoming week, and of course, our incredible parlay of the day that I screwed up yesterday. Joe Raineri with me, Art DiCesare. This is the best betting show ever. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and make sure to comment. Yeah, I know. The Oilers stunk yesterday. I get it. You were amazing. Brian Bauer was amazing, and I wrecked it. What have we learned in the 3 months of doing parlays every single day, Art DiCesare?
Bet them straight, and you would have a nice bankroll.
And ultimately, I think that's the message we've been trying to tell people for the last 10 years. We're just giving everybody what they want. They want parlays, and we're trying our best to provide you with parlays. But if you do bet them straight, you will be an incredibly, a lot wealthier than you currently are. Art, how did the books do this past weekend? What, Joe? What?
Just if I could for 1 minute. Art, I don't have the data in front of me yet,
blah,
but
blah.
It would appear that we have gotten screwed on this parlay a number of times with a certain team that a certain person always seems to use.
Oh, is it always the Oilers?
It's always the Oilers. Like every time you have not won with the Oilers once. From now on, the Oilers can never be part of the parlay again, ever. They're out. They are hell no bet list. Hell no.
Oilers.
And
what does that mean, everybody? Start betting the Oilers.
Yeah, or if the Prez says Oilers, bet the other team.
There you go. Okay. Are we good now?
I think so. I feel better.
Are we done?
Yes.
Let's get to some actionable betting information. Art, before that, how did the books do in college, NFL? Anything? Any massive bet you guys lost or won in basketball? What happened this past weekend?
College football was another really good weekend. Couple notable games that really were good for us and went our way. Georgia, Texas, that game, I think we closed 4.5 on that game. So we took a lot of late Texas money. Georgia obviously steamrolled in the second half in that game. Northwestern staying tight in their game against Michigan, almost winning the game outright, which would have been even more amazing for us because we would have killed all the Michigan money line parlays, but they only lose by 2. And, we had talked earlier in the week that Notre Dame got really steamed up from our opening numbers. So we booked that game to need Notre Dame, and Notre Dame came through, won by 3 touchdowns. So college was another really good Saturday for us. NFL, not so much. It wasn't like a losing Saturday. It was more just kind of a break-even Sunday. We lost a little bit on the Monday night game, so probably overall we lost in the NFL. Green Bay winning by 7, not good because there were a lot of people who laid 7. They get their money back, and then all the people earlier in the week who took the Giants at 8.5, 8, and 7.5, they win their bets. Obviously, the Green Bay money line stuff and teaser stuff comes through. The Ravens really weren't that great for us. You would have thought that them winning by 7 would have been fine, but there was a lot of Ravens money line stuff, a lot of Ravens teaser stuff. If the Browns could have figured out a way to win that game, that would have been awesome for us. So NFL, not that great.
What is your early indication here, Art, so far with NBA, now that all the injuries are coming into play? Everyone seems to be losing themselves. Giannis now's gone. Wembanyama's gone. Kawhi Leonard's gone. So all of these big name guys now, we don't even have to worry about them playing. They're out for good. But what has the early action been like in the association so far this year, especially, now that good luck trying to figure out who'll be playing in some of these games?
Well, that's the biggest thing, Joe. When we put up these overnight lines, first of all, they're in a smaller limit category. We're not going to give you full limits. First of all, on any overnight, but especially the NBA because of all the injury concerns. But that's what you see with the overnight NBA bettors. They're looking to bet spots. They're looking to bet maybe, hey, this guy's played 3 games in a row. This superstar might sit because of the upcoming schedule. There's a lot of that you see with the NBA bettors. It makes the NBA very difficult to book on a day in and day out basis.
Art DiCesare joining us. Art, let's get into where the money is going this week. 3 games you want to talk about. Jags and Cards, interesting one, because we've had a full line move in that game. We had Arizona come out at a pick 'em. It's now Jacksonville -2.5. The Falcons and the Saints. Now, the fact that the Saints are a favorite really boggles the mind to me. Atlanta was -3.5. Obviously, with Penix out, the line moved to -1.5. And then you want to talk about the Colts and the Chiefs, which I think might be the sexiest game of the week. We have 3.5s most places, but there are a couple of 3s out there heavily juiced already. Tell us about these 3 games.
Absolutely. You mentioned it, Prez. I mean, Jags -2.5, juiced as well. So we're moving towards 3 on that game. I think the more interesting thing and why I picked the game is because of the early move we saw on our total. We opened that total at 45, and one of our sharper accounts had bet that total over. We're now 47.5, so 2.5-point move there to the over. You mentioned the Atlanta Saint game. Obviously, there's the Penix injury, Drake London injury. It was as high as 3.5. We went to pick, and then another respected group came in and said, hey, we'll take pick with the Saints. We're now 2 on that game.
Wow.
Man, how high do we get? Do we get to the Saints at 3? I don't know. I mean, it feels like that's going to be one-way traffic. I don't know how we're
is
going
that possible?
Well, because people don't want to put money on Kirk Cousins. I think
But they want
that's
to put
really
money
what it's going to be.
on Spencer Howe. I combined the
I
two.
know, but it's a division team at home. I get it. Listen, if we get to 3, you're priced out. Right now, it being 1.5, 2.
How about being priced in on the side of Atlanta?
Yeah, sure. You could look at it that way, and I'm
What
sure
the
there will be
hell?
some people who do that, but I don't want to
Who
put my
in their-
money on Kirk Cousins.
Joe, who in their
That's
right
just me.
mind would bet New Orleans, Joe? Oh my God.
I did, but I took them in a teaser when they were +1.5 because I
There you go.
had the feeling, Art, it was heading that way. It was going to be all Saints. It was going to be all Saints money.
Yep.
But I will say this: Saints coming off a bye. They are at home, and I think there is dysfunction beyond dysfunction in that
In
Atlanta
Atlanta.
locker room
Yeah.
right now. I think they're a hot mess. I think he loses this game. I think Raheem Morris is the next on the chopping block. I think it's that simple.
And I think that'll be
I
the
like
end of. I think that'll be the end of us hanging out with Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Art, college football,
No,
Old Dominion.
no,
Hold on.
No, let me. No,
Prez,
there we go.
Have another
I
gummy
thought you
and let
did
me
that
finish.
at the beginning. Oh no, you didn't. You talked
Have
about
another
Jacksonville.
have another gummy and let me talk about the best game,
Oh,
sexy
Art.
game. Colts at Chiefs. Sharps took the Colts early. They took them at 4. That's where we opened. We got to KC -3, -120. There was buyback there. We're now 3.5 on this game. So this game's going to see really good two-way action. Right now, you can't say we need one side or the other. Too early to call.
All right.
Okay.
That is a
Sorry,
little too
Art.
early to call it. I'm wondering, Art, if that I don't know that continue. I don't know that goes back the other way. I think that Colts Chiefs game lands at 3, and then it'll be interesting to see if the hook comes back into play. I think the hook disappears by the time you get to kickoff one way or the other here. How is it trending right now? And you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, for us to take the early sharp money and then to get to the Chiefs at 3, but juiced, and then for it to go back up, that's just kind of 2 separate groups battling the game, and now it's 3.5. But I'm with you. I think the Chief love will probably just disappear at this point, and people will not want to lay. I mean, I don't know. It's not like the Colts are really that public either, so it's interesting. But I will say this. I don't think the sharp money will ever come on Kansas City.
Right.
Obviously, we've already seen the initial stuff come on Indy, and I think that's the way the game will kind of be booked all week.
Yeah, guys, stay with us all the way through. You're watching the best betting show ever. Do not turn this video off. I have a 5% play up today. I got a coupon code for you guys coming your way in the business section of our show, so stay with us. Art, college football. You got 3 games you want to talk about. I'll hand the mic over to you.
Old Dominion at Georgia Southern. One of our sharper guys who comes in and bets a couple of games on Monday. This is one that he laid Old Dominion 10.5. We're now 12.5 on that game and probably trending even higher. UConn, the Sharps laid 7 at FAU. We only went up to 7.5. Obviously, they're going to play around with that key 7. There'll probably be buyback on FAU at some point. That's a game we'll probably go back and forth, but initial sharp money on UConn at 7. And it feels like they bet against Ohio State and bet their number down every week. And we were 33 on Rutgers. We're now 31.5. Ohio State is a 31.5 point home favorite. There's always low totals. Nobody can score against Ohio State. But even when you move the number 2.5 points, nobody comes over the top and lays the big number with Ohio State. I guess they just look every week to go, maybe Ohio State will play it easy and, not blow someone out and maybe just win, 28-3, and it won't be 42-3. So it just seems every week there's money against Ohio State, which is crazy.
Yeah, well, Ryan Day and Kirby Smart are two guys that when you get to that plus, minus 30, Art, it tends not to work out all that well in the long run. But that should be an interesting one, maybe a possible look ahead, as Ohio State has a couple of interesting games still in front of them for sure in that spot there. But I got to tell you, you've got FAU. That line is interesting because now we're at the time of year where, FAU is 2 wins away from being bowl eligible. They're playing a UConn team that's already bowl eligible with 8 wins. So, the next couple of weeks, it's all about, can teams get that final win or two in order to have, that extra game and fly off somewhere. Not that FAU is going to want to go anywhere since they all are from Boca anyway. But, you got to factor that in here at some point as well. Maybe a little more motivation for one team and not the other.
That's a great point, especially with these, like you said, these last 2 weeks. And sometimes we have to book that way, and we have to see what the motivation is. I think early on, and listen, like I said, I think we'll see FAU money. UConn's probably looking at the motivation of, hey, we can have a 10-win season. When do you say that about UConn football? I mean, it never happens. It's a basketball school, so there's probably motivation there. Maybe get a better bowl, raise the UConn profile. But you're right, in these last couple of weeks, where there are teams who already have their 7 or 8 wins, and they know they're going to such and such bowl, there are going to be teams fighting to get into bowls. So it's an excellent point.
There we go. Art DiCesare joining us. Let's keep the show moving. Parlay of the day. I'm going to go with the Edmonton Oilers.
I knew it. Why I had it ready, Art.
Go the other
I had
way.
it ready, Art. There it is.
They're not even.
Right there.
They're playing tomorrow against Washington. I'm going with
Caps are a lock.
I'm going with the Caps are not a good team either. I'm going with the under in the New Jersey Devils Tampa Bay Lightning game, under 6 goals. Art?
I'm going to take a home team at a pick on minus 105. Give me the Blackhawks against the Flames.
Yeah, Blackhawks are impressive right now.
Ooh,
Joe?
Impressive stuff. All right. So then I'll go college basketball, and I will take the Duke Blue Devils tonight to beat Kansas, and probably rather easily since Kansas won't have the proverbial future number 1 pick in next year's NBA draft because of a hamstring injury. But I think Duke handles it rather easily tonight.
There we go. Guys, let's keep going. Fade or not fade? We're talking both Norths, AFC and NFC. Let's start with the 6-5 Pittsburgh Steelers. Quarterback problems galore. They're only 1 game up on the Ravens. The Steelers are a fade team for me moving forward, Art. And I'll be honest with you, they're a fade team for me this week. +3 in Chicago. I think Chicago might blow them out. What do you like, Art, with this team?
I don't disagree, but when the backup came in last week, he looked better than Rodgers. That's all I'm going to say. Just keep your eye on that.
Yeah, with that said, and I do want to speak to that, Joe, we've seen the story play out a million times. I mean, look how good Browning looked for a minute. When you come in, teams don't game plan for you, this, that, and the other. Mason Rudolph has had his shot a million times. He might be handsome, and my wife might love him, but he is no starting quarterback. Joe?
Yeah, but he's a backup quarterback, and he's a backup for a reason.
Yes.
Because he's been there long enough. He's been there with Arthur Smith. He knows it. And you saw how easy it was when he came in. They didn't really skip a beat offensively. And to Art's point, maybe they got a little bit better. if you think the Bears somehow are going to keep winning games in the fourth quarter by a hair on their ass, at some point that is going to regress here. And that could very well be against a really good defense, which I happen to think the Steelers have in this spot here. This is a tough one to me because Mason Rudolph is good for 2 games. Isn't that what it is, Art? I think a good backup in the NFL can hold the fort down for 2 games. If you ask him to do more than that, you're screwed. But I think Mason Rudolph, with the experience, is more than capable of giving the Steelers a shot this week of beating a very lucky Bears team at this point.
Well, and that is true on the Bears. So what I'm hearing from you is look to fade them in the future, not this week.
And I wouldn't this week.
Yeah, Baltimore Ravens minus 13.5 against the New York Jets team that's feisty. They're playing hard right now. Feels like too many points, or does it? I think Baltimore is a bet on team moving forward. The chances of me getting to the window with them this week is 0. Art?
Yeah, I couldn't bet them this week, but, we've talked ad nauseum about the Ravens. You should have already bought all their future stuff. And moving forward, I believe the Jets are going to play Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, you can't lay 13.5 because the Ravens might sleepwalk through the game and just win it by 10. But listen, the Ravens moving forward are a team that are going to make a lot of noise in the playoffs when they get in because of just who they are and what their power rating is. So Ravens moving forward into January, I like.
Joe?
I don't know what to do with this Ravens team, man.
Yeah.
Because they looked like shit. And now, granted, Cleveland's not an easy, defense to go. But Hamilton is hurt again, and he's a big part of that defense for Baltimore. I'm shocked Aaron Glenn made the announcement because usually he likes to hold that close to the vest because he don't want to give guys an unfair advantage to give me a break. I think he had to go to Tyrod. Otherwise, he would have lost this team, especially on the offense. So I would only look Baltimore in this spot. But my goodness, I got to see more from him, Prez. Otherwise, I'll be looking to fade them moving forward because I'm not convinced everything is well with Lamar and company on the offensive side.
And I agree with you, Joe. I'm looking to bet on them moving forward if we're not getting -8s. I think this team is going to win games. And I think there is a chance that they win out. I don't think they're going to create distance this year. And at 13.5, it's too much. There is something wrong in Baltimore on their offense. And you see it with Derrick Henry as well. Even the way Derrick is running. And you can see how nervous he is about fumbling the ball. He's holding it like this and falling forward. He's not one-arming people. The Bengals, I think last week was the end of that. This team is a fade team moving forward. They're +8 against New England. As Art says, just take the overs and don't overthink this, Art.
Yeah, take the overs and take the team they're playing team total overs.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. Joe?
Did he spit or did he not spit? He
spit.
Oh, I know he did, but he kind of doubled it. I didn't open my mouth, but yet you were having a conversation with him. So at some point, something came out of your mouth. And now $500,000 later, and you're not going to be available for the New England game, which worries me, Prez, about the over a little bit in that spot. Because I could see New England and Henderson just running all over Cincinnati here and just get the hell out of Dodge and be good with a win. So I'm a little worried about that one, but they're a fade from here until forever.
I think the Browns have to be a fade team moving forward. I think their defense has to be just like, screw you guys, man. Why are we trying so hard? If I'm Chubb, Garrett. If I'm Garrett, I'm like, what a waste of a career. Anyway, that's a whole different story. Jesus, I'll tell you flat out, I would refuse to play if I was Garrett. I would be like, I am not giving my one and only NFL career to this garbage franchise. Anyway, this is a bet against team moving forward. All they got are a defense, and at some point their defense is going to give them the finger, Joe. Yeah, that's what the defense is going to do to the Cleveland offense. Fade team for me moving forward. They're playing Vegas though this weekend, so I'm just going to stay away from that game. Art.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely a fade team moving forward. If Shador is going to be the quarterback, I would look to bet
Oh,
the totals under
oh.
and, move on down the road with that. I don't know how they're going to score points with that guy playing quarterback.
Well, he did announce that if Dylan is good to go, he will play, but I don't think he's good either. Joe, what do you feel about the Cleveland Browns?
The problem is because he's buried in Cleveland, but Myles Garrett is got to be one of the
best of all time.
The guy is unblockable no matter who or what
and
you
he doesn't
throw
even
at him.
have a counter rusher. He doesn't have a counter edge rush.
No.
So it's not like you got Fred, you got Warner and Bosa, you got Watt and whoever, Hightower, whoever's playing like this guy's a one-man wrecking crew. Derek Thomas is who he reminds me of.
Very similar. Yes. Yeah. Very similar. Absolutely. If he had any sort of quality organization he's with, this guy it would be on the top. But I will say this, first guy in NFL history for 6 years straight to have 12 or more sacks. Guy is a absolute wrecking ball. And I can't trust the Raiders either. I do think that defense can beat the Raiders alone, no matter who the quarterback is for the Browns. So I might look at the Browns this week because they haven't stopped playing on that side of the ball. There is some pride there. Yeah. I think that defense is good enough to actually, do what the Jets did, win a game with special teams or defensive touchdowns. But beyond that, they can't trust them.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move our attention to the NFC North, the Chicago Bears. Joe already mentioned his opinion on that. Art, I don't know what to make of this team, man. I bet Minnesota last week. I was like, time to fade the Bears. They're winning with smoke and mirrors, and they got it done again. I understand there were 2 bad turnovers by JJ, and I know he played horrible, but this Bears team just keeps on ticking along, now sitting at the top of the division. I don't know what to make of this team, Art.
I'm with you. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I was on the Vikings as well, Prez. I kind of like what Joe was saying. I kind of don't think I'd want to lay 3 with Chicago this week. I'd want to take Pittsburgh. So I would probably want to fade Chicago this week.
Yeah, Joe? Okay, so Joe is telling Chicago to screw off. I talk a lot on the NFL presidential address over the last 10 years or so about Chicago pizza, and I have made it very clear that I think it's awful. I consider it lasagna on a crust. Art, what are your thoughts on Chicago pizza?
Well, I'm an East Coast New York kid, so give me a thin slice all day.
And you, Joe Raineri?
I agree 100% with you there. I'm an East Coast guy. I don't do deep dish or whatever that garbage is that people consider. Yeah, no, it's awful.
It really is the most horrible pizza in the world. With that said, shout out to Detroit. I like their pizza, and it's somewhere in between. It's somewhere in between the two.
Yes,
and
I agree.
They are using a sourdough crust in Detroit. Spectacular pizza coming out of Detroit. Cheese coming out of Green Bay. And that's about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what, guys, I don't know what to make of this team. I mean, are they good? Are they bad? What's so funny, Joe? What did I miss?
No, they're awful. They are a certain kind of cheese. And I think I'm heading where you're heading with this one, Prez. It ain't good in Green Bay.
What is wrong there? Like how are they not all? Where is Micah Parsons? Like, what's going on in Green Bay? Jordan Love looks like he's regressed at 100 miles an hour. LaFleur doesn't even look like he can make play calls correctly. Art, I don't know. I'm staying away from Green Bay because I still think they're good. -6.5 against Minnesota. I would take Minnie here if I had to. But we'll talk about them too later. But I don't know what to make of this Packer team, Art.
Yeah, I mean, Tucker Kraft going out was huge. He was their offense. I mean, their receivers don't threaten you at all. Anyone they throw out there, it just, I don't know. They all wear the bubble helmets. I don't know what's going on. with that
kudos
offense.
to them for doing that, by the way.
It looks
Stop
ridiculous.
it, Art. You don't have.
It looks
you might. I don't think
ridiculous.
you have a child, but if I had a child, I do have a child. I have two. And they were in the NFL, I would make them wear those helmets. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Kudos to those wide receivers for wearing those helmets. Sorry, I regret. Keep going, Art. Keep going.
No, listen, their offense doesn't do anything for me. And I will say this, though. Green Bay is going to be a team. They'll be low seeded, and nobody's going to want to play them in January because they can get to an A-level game. It's just week in and week out, it feels like they play a C-level game.
Well, we've only seen one A-level game this year from them, and that was on week 1. Joe, what do you think about Green Bay?
Well, I'm ordering you one of those helmets now on Amazon, Prez, because the next time you screw up our parlay of the day, you will be wearing it the next show since it's so fashionable, and you'd have your kids wear one.
Dude, I'd be wearing it every show.
Yeah, you get ready.
Can you get an Oilers one? Can you get an
I'm
Oilers
getting
one?
I'm getting it. You can actually get it. Yes, you're getting an Edmonton Oilers helmet. Yes, that's exactly what you deserve. Green Bay, keep an eye on this defense because the problems with this offense have now left this defense out on the field a lot. And you're starting to see him get a little banged up. And now all of a sudden, Micah Parsons isn't necessarily the game wrecker that he should be because he's out on the goddamn field the entire time. What the Giants did to them was crazy. Your Giants, Art, give them all the credit in the world. They won it in the trenches. They came up a little short, but they were beating them in the trenches. I think that defense, if they don't figure it out on offense, that defense is going to be too worn out by the time we get to week 18 in the postseason for them to make a difference.
I don't know if they're even making the playoffs, guys. So you know, we'll see what happens then. Okay, Minnesota, they're playing. No, we're going to do Detroit. Guys, I think Detroit is a bet-on team moving forward, and I'm telling you that right now. Clearly, they're not the team they were last year. I get it. This team, off of a loss like that, I mean, I think they cover 10.5 against the Giants. I think this game is going to be a total freaking blowout. They were 0-6 in fourth downs last week. I think they're 5-6 this week. Things tend to work themselves out. I think we have a great opportunity to make some money on Detroit. Art?
Yeah, this kind of reminds me after they lost week 1, they came home and put up 50 against the Bears.
Right.
I think the Lions are going to score a lot of points this week. I love their team total over against my Giants. I don't care what the number is.
What's the line?
I feel like they're team totals
it's
for
going
us.
to be like 31 or 28.5, somewhere in that zone.
It's going to be high, but you know what? It feels like they're going to look to score 35 to 42 points in this game. And you're right, Prez. They probably do cover the 10.5.
Yeah. Joe?
Team total, 31.
31. That's what
31
I figured.
and 31. It's moving quickly in that one
the
there.
Over.
Mm-hmm.
The over, for sure.
Listen, if it ain't broke, ain't fixing it. Detroit, when they play sub-500 defenses and teams, are going to drop 40 points. When they play top 5 defenses, they're going to look like they did against the Philadelphia Eagles. Dan Campbell calling plays.
Horrible.
Red flag, guys. Big red flag. There's a problem in Detroit with the offense, and Dan Campbell is not the guy. He's not Ben Johnson. He's not any one of these guys that's going to come in and all of a sudden revamp it. There are issues there. Pick your spots with Detroit, namely under 500 teams.
Minnesota Vikings. We briefly alluded to them. They're playing Green Bay. Man, I think they might be a bet-on team, guys. I mean, McCarthy looked okay at the back end of that game last week. He was overthrowing and underthrowing receivers all game. I don't know if that is where he's headed, but I do know that I'm in love with their coach. So I think Minnesota's a bet-on team moving forward. I think they're a bet-on team this week. Art?
I mean, yeah, and their defense, man, they really kept them in that game, holding Chicago to all those field goals. We know that defense can play. McCarthy is just too head-scratching for me. But I'm with you, Prez. 6.5 is a lot in a division game. So they're probably a bet on this week, but I think moving forward, they're a fade.
Joe?
I like the coach. I like the coaches. I think they have the pieces. I think McCarthy needs another year and maybe a healthy offseason this time to be able to work their magic with him there. I think he looks like a rookie to me. He's still trying to figure it out, and the injuries have not helped. So I know he's been in the league a couple of years, but he doesn't have the reps under him. I think another year before we can really decide whether or not they made a mistake with him. But I definitely like the coaching staff, and I think, Prez, for that reason alone, you've got to consider backing them when the market says they're terrible. I think that's when you got to look to go in and back Minnesota.
Guys, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and make sure to comment. Comment, please. We'll respond to a lot of them, and we'll talk about some of them in our mailbag section every day at the end of the show. Art, anything to promote before we let you go?
Yeah, let me give you a couple of things, for some college basketball and NBA that I saw overnight. We saw Magic money on the under. So under in the Magic game, 225 to 223. Saw some Grizzly money as well at +7. We're now 6. Obviously, the Spurs dealing with all their injuries. And a couple of college ones. San Diego State, they bet that under from 141 to 137. And they laid 18 with Stanford. It's now 20.5.
There we go. Wonderful stuff. Art will be back tomorrow, everyone. Art, thanks for doing this. Joe, we got lots more to do. Our early CFB and NFL bets and the rundowns in NBA, NHL, and college hoops. But right now, my brother, it's time for some business. Joe, it's Customer Appreciation Day over at WagerTalk.com. What does that mean? It means $5 Tuesday. Every Tuesday, we take our best plays. We make them only $5. Let me tell you what I've got going with the clients. I've got a $5 play in NHL. This play is a 3% play, and I'm on a 9-2 run in NHL 3% plays. I also have a $5 NBA play. I have been dominating NBA for over 3 years now. I won last night. I'm on a 12-7 NBA run, and I got a $5 play for you for that. But more importantly, and most importantly, I have a 5% play up tonight in the NHL. And man, I do not want to put out a 5% play on a Tuesday. A totally awful, awful day to put out 5% plays. It just gets lost in the shuffle from a sales perspective. But I had no choice. That's how much I love this play. This is my favorite 5% NHL play so far this season. I am 9-2 in 5% NHL plays in the last 11. I was 90% last year in these plays. This is a monster of a play, and you guys can get it for half price. Use the promo code Prez50. That's Prez50 over at my page, and you get my 5% play for half price. I will also have an NFL ATS bet up in the next couple of hours, and that'll be $5 as well. Joe, what do you got going?
Prez got a few things going on here. Number one, I've got 2 of my favorite college basketball plays here tonight at WagerTalk.com. $5. Get them both for $5. I do have a upcoming 5% play in college football that will be up a little bit later. That'll be ready and posted by tomorrow. And I've got NFL. I'm already locked and loaded in also. Number one, Prez, over the last 30 days here at Wager Talk, up 75 units for clients. So we look to keep it rolling here today.
Excellent stuff. Okay, brother. Well, we got lots of show left, so everyone, please stay with us all the way through. We've got our NFL and college football bets, and we're going to do rundowns on every game of the board. Joe, we're on a 2-minute clock. I've got 1 minute to give out an NFL play. Let's go. Okay, so the New York Giants are heading into Detroit, and what do I like here? I'm not going to overthink this game. I like Detroit, and I like them a lot, even at -10.5, and I never bet these big, huge favorites. But let me bottom line this. Detroit started the season losing to Green Bay 27-13. What did they do the next week? They put up 52 on Chicago and beat them by 31 points. Then they lose to KC 30-17. What did they do the next week? They put up 24 on Tampa Bay, held them to 9, covered 10.5 easily. Then they lost to Minnesota 27-24. What did they do the next week? They go to Washington, put up 44, beat Washington 44-22. They're in that spot. They are going to annihilate the Giants, take Detroit team total over, and Detroit minus 10.5. Joe, what's your college football bet?
All right. Well, this is a client play, and I'm going to give it to you now, Prez, because I have a feeling this line is only going to go in one direction, and that is even more towards New Mexico, who's taking on Air Force at Air Force this week. And New Mexico has been one hell of a story this year here, guys. Jason Eck is doing an absolutely wonderful job as the head coach there in Albuquerque. Air Force, we already know they have one of the worst defenses in the country, but now it looks like they've lost their quarterback for the rest of the year, Liam Cesarka, and he was everything to that Air Force offense. So bad defense, backup quarterback, no offense. New Mexico looking for their 8th win on the season, and they are going to get it, guys, and they're going to get it rather easily. This opened up -1, 1.5. It's already 3.5, and I think it continues to go. So get it while you can on New Mexico.
There we go. Joe, NBA rundown. Cue the clock, baby.
Let's
Let's
go.
hear it.
Let's do it. All right, NBA, bunch of games happening here tonight. And Art told you about one of them, one of the early starts here, and that is going to be with the Golden State Warriors taking on the Orlando Magic. So here's what we need to know about these two teams. They're both playing defense. They're both top 10 in defensive efficiency, and the Warriors are being really good. Now, the Magic tried to get away from who they were to start the year. Didn't work out all that well to go run and gun. They have slowed it down here a little bit. They are much better defensively, which is why we've seen this total get hit to the under, and I agree it's probably not under enough in this one. The Celtics and the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, we know they are terrible. The Celtics laying double digits is a bit risky in this spot at the Barclays Center. I think the Celtics win, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Nets sneak by. The Pistons, who just blew out the Indiana Pacers, who doesn't blow out the Pacers last night, now traveled to Atlanta to take on the Hawks. We love this Hawks team. What a great West Coast road trip. This will be their first game back home off that trip. The Pistons did not play Cade Cunningham last night. He'll likely go in this one. I would jump on the Pistons sooner rather than later at what looks to be a pick'em price right now. The Spurs, no Wembanyama taking on the Grizzlies, no Ja Morant. Who cares? The Grizzlies are awful. The Spurs will still roll with the Aaron Fox and company there. I would lay it. The Lakers taking on the Jazz. Who the hell are the Lakers to be laying 12.5 points right now? The Utah Jazz coming off a ridiculous game against the Chicago Bulls in double overtime. I like the points, and I think we're getting a ton of them tonight. The over is the play. And the Suns taking on the Trailblazers. Don't sleep on the Trailblazers at home, which is where they are tonight, Prez. I like them to get it done against Phoenix.
There we go, Joe. We got the NHL rundown, a hopeful slate of games. Cue the clock. Let's start with Seattle. They're playing Detroit. Joe, I like the under in this game. The number is 6. I also like Detroit in regulation, but I prefer the under. New Jersey playing in Tampa Bay. I like the under in this game. New Jersey very injured right now. Jack Hughes cuts his thumb eating dinner with the tank from Barstool Sports and might be out for 5 to 6 weeks. Take under the total in New Jersey and Tampa Bay. I like the over in the St. Louis-Toronto game. Joe, Toronto has gone over 11 of their last 12. Even without Austin, the number is only 6. Take the over. Winnipeg, Joe, playing Columbus. I like Winnipeg in regulation here. I think they get this done easily. Really bad spot for Columbus. Back-to-back travel day. Plus Winnipeg coming home off of a mediocre road trip. Dallas playing the New York Islanders. Shout out to the New York Islanders. They've started the season well. I don't think they're going to get it done tonight. I like Dallas in regulation in that spot. I don't know how you can't bet Chicago here against Calgary. This Calgary team is horrible, and Chicago is playing probably their best hockey they've played in 5 years. They are a short home dog at plus 105. Take the Blackhawks. New York Rangers playing Vegas, Joe. I like Vegas tonight. Short price minus 130 at home. And Utah playing San Jose. I don't know how you can't like Utah. This team has been very impressive. I also like the over in that game too. Joe, college basketball is all yours.
All right, Prez, let's get it going here tonight with what else? How about the Champions Classic at Madison Square Garden, right? You got the 4 Blue Bloods here. Michigan State taking on Kentucky. And then, of course, you've got Duke taking on Kansas. Let's start with that latter one there as soon as the Michigan State-Kentucky game is over. It sucks because Darren Peterson, who is the presumptive number 1 overall pick coming up in the NBA draft out of Kansas, will not be available for this game. He keeps cramping up. He's got a hamstring strain, and it doesn't look like he is going to be able to go. Would have been a whole hell of a lot of fun to watch him go, but as far as Duke goes, they will have everybody who matters there. Cameron Boozer will be good to go. He, too, is a absolute monster. 6'9", 6'11", and 6'8". That is your front court here for the Duke Blue Devils. This total has gotten steamed to the under, and I agree with it, guys. The thing that you need to know about these two teams is they love to play defense. For all the offensive firepower they have, they are all about defense, the way these two teams play. I think Kansas is going to struggle scoring without Darren Peterson. They do have a lot of talent, but they are going to go at one another here at Madison Square Garden. It was 151.5. I think it's already down to 148. 148.5, and I agree with that one. And as far as Michigan State and Kentucky goes here, too, doesn't get any better than this. However, another injury concern here for Big Blue Nation here, and whether Jalen Lowe is going to go in this game. I think he will, but if he doesn't, get ready because the money is going to come towards Michigan State. We're already starting to see the money towards Michigan State. I happen to agree with it. And for a big dog here tonight, UT Martin getting 21 at Florida State, Prez, would be my big dog of the night.
There we go. Joe, we're in the mailbag section of the show. Guys, comment in the comment section when the show goes up, please. We're going to read those comments. We talk about them. Ask us any questions you want. If you want to hear about a game, if you want to know whether to buy Bitcoin, if you want a television recommendation, whatever you want, put up in the chat room and we will talk about it. But Joe, there is a female, Mary Grace Stevens, who would like to point, and now I'm assuming she's a female, Mary Grace Stevens. I don't want to, just be that guy. But anyway, you're her favorite, Joe. So I just want, any thoughts there?
No, thank you very much. We appreciate you hanging out despite the Prez being that guy. We certainly do appreciate you spending time with us here on the best betting show ever, Prez, ever.
Yeah, it is the best betting show ever. So Gotcha wrote, because I told a story, Gotcha wrote, so your friend sends you a picture of his balls every day, and then you thought, I should send it to my mother. And then he says, Prez, you are so weird. Cut down the drugs.
That's not right.
I'd like to use the word colorful, Joe. I'm an eccentric, colorful man. I don't think I'm weird. And with that said, it drives my mother nuts, Joe. Why wouldn't I do that?
I see what you did there. Balls, nuts. Impressive, Prez. Very impressive. Well done.
Don't you enjoy driving your mom nuts?
Colorful. Very much so. Yes, very much so.
Right.
Now she just drives us nuts. But yes, there was a point where we loved it.
Mind writes, fabulous show. If Joe has a 5% play, consider it money in the bank. What was your 5% play yesterday, Joe?
It was, in fact, the Dallas Cowboys last night to get it done, proving once again that This time of year, sometimes don't overthink things, Prez. Sometimes it is what it is, and the Dallas Cowboys, although public, were always the right side in that game.
There you go. So that person was correct. Easy money. George writes, Prez's morning routine is so Canadian. Firstly, how does he know my morning routine? And secondly, what is a Canadian morning routine, Joe? Could you fill me in, please?
You would have to please have him or anybody else explain that. I have no idea what a Canadian morning would be. Sun would rise, Prez. You wake up usually what, 9 o'clock, 9:30?
No, I woke up today at 10:14.
Oh, there you go. So maybe that's the Canadian sunrise he's talking about.
And lastly, Garrick Williams writes, Prez, you're a trip. So with that said, come on vacation with Joe and I.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
Monday to Friday on the best betting show ever. Joe, thanks for doing this, my brother. Art DiCesare will be with us tomorrow. Lots to discuss. We're going to have a fade or not fade segment tomorrow. You guys pick the topic. What division in the NFL do you want us to talk about? Let us know in the comment section. Joe, long show today. Thanks for doing this, brother. Be good.